What's up, everybody? Welcome back. I'm going to do my next series on improv. If you watched the first video, then the second one will kind of pick up where the first one left off a little bit. I want to talk about a mirror image to what we talked about in the last video. And you can kind of think of these improv classes as theory classes, sort of, too. When I'm improvising, I understand theory super well. I became obsessed with it and really studied it and tried to figure it out. So when I'm improvising, I got a lot of theory running through my head. And what theory kind of does for you is it allows you to make smart choices when you're improvising. You don't always follow theoretical concepts that are true. You break rules all the time. So I don't want you to get stuck on trying to follow the rules all the time. If you do, your music won't have any flavor. But it allows you just to make smart choices as you're going when you don't know what to do. A theoretical concept that you know is going to work will transition you from one thing to another. Or if you hit a mistake that you didn't intend, you can use that to your advantage when you're improvising. As long as you understand, you can quickly look at the mistake and see what happened and use theoretical concepts to work your way through it into a whole new segment or back to where you started from. So as kind of introduction to this video and sort of an introduction to this whole series, I'm just going to kind of keep going on this series called Improv Basics. As it goes, it won't be all basic. It'll become very advanced. But so let's get started. So if you remember, last time we worked on a 12-bar blues riff. We did it in the key of C, which was the C chord, F chord, G chord. Did it in 12 bars. Hopefully I kind of remember how that worked. I don't want to repeat myself. I don't want the video to be a half hour long just to kind of repeat everything I already said. We're going to work on today is a mirror image of what we did last time. Every major key has a relative minor key. The relative to C major is A minor. If you play a C major scale, it's all white keys, no sharps, no flats. If you play an A minor scale, it's all white keys, no sharps, no flats. It's the exact same key signature. If we want to create a 12-bar in the key of A, we're still going to use 1, 4, and 5 chords, just like we did in the last one. We used C, F, and G. Now we're going to use A. The fourth chord, 1, 2, 3, 4, is D. Fifth chord is E. So we're going to use an A minor chord, a D minor chord, an E minor chord, back to an A minor chord. And we can make a 12-bar blues riff just out of that. It's the exact same thing. We're just switching from the C note to the A note. You're going to hear me use the word diatonic a lot when I'm talking about this stuff. Diatonic simply means that we're sticking strictly to the key. So if we're in the key of C, a diatonic scale of any sort will be no sharps, no flats. It'll just be C. Same thing happens in A. So the key of A minor, if we're playing diatonically, is just going to be all white keys from A to A. If we're playing in C, it's going to be all white keys from C to C. So C major and A minor are diatonic to each other. So if we play an A minor chord, we can do this 4 times, just like we did with the C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, and so on. Then we're going to switch to the fourth chord. So 4 up from A is D. Still going to be a minor because we're using all white keys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then back to A for 2 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to go to the E minor, which is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's E minor on top of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we're still going to be working with the pentatonic scale over this new 12-bar in A minor. The C major pentatonic scale is the exact same notes as the A minor pentatonic scale. If we play this and we do it over a C, it's going to be a C major pentatonic scale. If we do it over an A, it's going to be an A minor pentatonic scale. You can hear how it switches from major to minor just by changing the bass note. The exact same notes. Generally, if you're playing it as a scale, you're going to probably want to start on A instead of C, so it's going to be A, C, D, E, G, A. The exact same notes as the C pentatonic scale. As an interesting side note, to just kind of show you the mirror image between A and C, if we play a C major 6th chord and an A minor 7th chord, they're the exact same notes. So I'm going to play this chord. It's a little bit out of order just so that this registers a little bit better in the left hand. So what I've got is a E, a C, a E, a G, and an A. A would be the 6th of a C major chord. We'll get into extensions a little more later. If we put a C in the bottom of it, we got a C major 6th chord. If we put an A on the bottom of those exact same notes, we've got an A minor 7th chord. A minor 7th chord is A, C, E, G. Exact same notes. It's just relative to where we start and what's in the left hand. That's why the bass guitar is so important. A lot of people don't think about the bass guitar. I played bass guitar for a lot of years, loved it. But it really establishes the key signatures, and the guitars can do whatever they want over top of it, but the bass is what holds down those notes. Okay, so let's get started on our how to improvise in the key of A minor using the pentatonic scale, which is the exact same scale we used last time. We're just going to kind of cater everything to A instead of C. So what I'm going to kind of do is I'm going to play the 12 bar in A minor, just so you can hear it really quick. Remember, it's 12 bars. 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4. We're going to switch to D minor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3. Back to A minor. Then we're going to switch to E minor for 1 bar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 12, 2, 3. Then we start over 1. So there's 12 bars. If we use the A minor pentatonic scale over top of that, same notes as the C major pentatonic scale, then we can start to improvise over A minor. It's the exact same thing. Chord tones, again, are the exact same thing. D minor chords, same thing to the E. So now we've got a 12 bar blues riff in the key of A minor. We've got some things we can use over them. The A minor pentatonic scale, which again is the exact same notes as the C major pentatonic scale, and we can use chord tones. So every chord is a triad. I think I'm not going to cover chords until we get into more complicated chords, but I think you can kind of see what they're going to be. We're going to have 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5. Our fingers are separated by one note in the key of C. So we could play every other note. Every note in the key of C, we just separated them all by one note. That's a major chord or a minor chord. But diatonically, that's how it kind of works. So what I'm going to do real quick is just kind of do a little improvisation of a 12 bar in the key of A minor using the A minor pentatonic scale and chord tones kind of mixed in, just to show you what you might be able to come up with in the key of A minor. So that's kind of a 12 bar in the key of A minor. Exact same thing we did in C, just a mirror image of it. Okay, so join us here back back here next time. We'll start to get into a little bit more advanced concepts. I just wanted to kind of get both those out there because they're mirror images of each other. It's a real easy thing to kind of put together, the major and the minor, because it's the exact same notes as far as the pentatonic scale. They're very much related to each other, and sometimes you want to play major, sometimes you want to play minor. When we get into it, the minor scale the minor key can really take some flavor, and so can the major. So we'll kind of get into some variations and changes as we go, but if you want to create a minor or major feel, it's kind of helpful to understand the basics of it. So work on the 12 bar in the key of A minor, keep working on the key of C major, and then next time we'll see if we can put a few more concepts in there and start to create some real flavor to the music. One thing I want to mention is I'm trying to make these kind of like piano lessons, I guess. I taught piano lessons for a lot of years, but when I'm teaching lessons to a person, I can talk to them, they can ask questions, I can answer questions, there's back and forth communication. When I'm talking to a camera and explaining this to you guys, there's no interaction. So I'm going to miss things, I'm going to trying to explain things that aren't going to be clear. So there is a comment section on the channel there. So if there's something that's not clear or that I kind of missed or that doesn't make sense, just make a comment on it. You know, we watched your video. Could you explain this more? This didn't make sense. We think you got this wrong. Whatever you want to say about it, please put it in there, because then I can go back and kind of cover the things that I missed, because I want this to make sense. And I really am not going to know if it makes sense without feedback. And we'll see you in the next video.